Hello, welcome back to another English literature revision session with Miss Sweet. Today we are doing a full walkthrough of the poem Bayonet Charge, and comparing it with similar poems. Bayonet Charge, by Ted Hughes, describes the terrifying experience of a soldier as he rushes across a battlefield during a war. As he runs with his bayonet, he struggles to understand why he's fighting, questioning the ideals of patriotism that once motivated him. Ultimately, the poem highlights the raw fear and futility of war, stripping away any sense of heroism. Here is the key vocab within the poem. The color khaki is a light shade of tan with a slight yellowish tinge. Khaki has been used by many armies around the world for uniforms and equipment. Clods are a lump of earth or clay. However, informally, clod can be used to describe someone who is perceived as foolish, perhaps relating to the soldier fighting in the war. Patriotic is having or expressing devotion to and support for one's country. Statuary is a statue. Hares are larger and faster mammals, which look similar to rabbits. Threshing is the process of separating grain from corn or other crop. A bayonet is a knife, dagger, sword, or spike-shaped melee weapon designed to be mounted on the end of the barrel of a rifle. Dignity is the quality or state of being worthy, honored, or esteemed. The stanza opens with "Suddenly he awoke and was running," plunging the reader directly into the action. This technique, called in medias res, creates a sense of immediacy and urgency. The sudden awakening suggests that the soldier was previously in a state of shock or disorientation, reinforcing the chaotic nature of war. The repetition of "raw" emphasizes the soldier's vulnerability and the harsh, brutal conditions he faces. It suggests that both his physical and emotional states are raw, stripped down to their most basic and painful elements. The harsh consonant sounds in "raw seemed" and "hot khaki" further intensify this rawness, adding to the sense of discomfort and exhaustion. The lack of punctuation reflects the chaotic, unrelenting nature of the battle, forcing the reader to move breathlessly from one line to the next, just as the soldier stumbles forward. This simile contrasts the initial idealism of patriotism with the harsh reality of war. The patriotic tear symbolizes the soldier's earlier feelings of duty and pride, but the comparison to molten iron suggests that these feelings have been replaced by intense physical and emotional pain. The idea of molten iron evokes something heavy, burning, and destructive, indicating that the soldier's idealism has been melted away by the brutal experience of combat. The clockwork of the stars and the nations is personified as cold and mechanical, emphasizing the indifference of the larger systems that dictate the course of the soldier's life. This personification suggests that the forces controlling the soldier's fate are distant and unemotional, further deepening his sense of alienation from the broader purpose of the war. The lack of pause between lines reflects the soldier's compulsion to keep moving, despite his confusion and fear. This technique helps to create a sense of urgency and disorientation, as the reader is forced to follow the soldier's frenzied thoughts and actions without pause. The sharp sounds and shot slash evoke the violent and sudden nature of the gunfire, emphasizing the destructive forces surrounding the soldier. This alliteration intensifies the imagery of the battlefield, where the land itself is being torn apart by bullets. This rhetorical question underscores the soldier's existential crisis as he questions the forces that have brought him to this moment. He wonders whether he is merely a pawn in a larger, uncaring system, with no control over his actions. This question adds depth to his internal conflict, as he seeks meaning in a situation that seems arbitrary and governed by forces beyond his control. The hare is compared to a flame, suggesting something both fleeting and destructive. The flame evokes the fiery chaos of the battlefield, and the image of the hare rolling emphasizes its helplessness and panic. The simile reflects the chaotic and violent environment, with the hare acting as a symbol of innocence caught in the devastation of war. It may also parallel the soldier's own frantic movements as he tries to survive. The juxtaposition between ideals such as king, honor, human dignity, and the brutal reality of war highlights the collapse of noble, patriotic values in the face of sheer terror. The word etc. trivializes these once important ideals, implying that in the heat of battle, such concepts are irrelevant. The soldier abandons them, as they are dropped like luxuries, things that are not necessary for immediate survival. This stark contrast emphasizes how war strips away human values, reducing everything to base survival instincts. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video useful.